This is New York's #1 news. Channel 7 Eyewitness News with Bill Ritter and Liz Cho. Ryan Field with sports. And Lee Goldberg with the exclusive AccuWeather forecast. Now, Eyewitness News at 6.
Jim, thank you. Now to the crisis in Puerto Rico. More than 2 months after the devastation from Hurricane Maria, more than half of the nation still does not have electricity. Well, now Con Ed crews from our area are helping to restore power there. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger is live in San Juan for us tonight with that. Josh.
Well, Liz, tonight is a dubious anniversary here in Puerto Rico. It's 2 months to the day since Hurricane Maria roared her way across, and still the power situation is so bad that things like this car crushed on the side of a street, this is the least of their problems. They are a long way from home, but in the middle of storm-ravaged San Juan, this fleet of familiar blue and white trucks are exactly where they need to be.
When you hear it in the news is one thing. When you're here on the ground, then you really get a good idea of what's going on.
Rich Gonzalez is among 100 Con Ed workers who took a break from their usual jobs in the 5 boroughs and flew down here. 75 trucks shipped in by boat. And now 2 months to the day after Maria destroyed 80% of the fragile Puerto Rican power grid. They're ever so slowly stitching it back together.
Electricity is so valuable to us, all the things we do on a daily basis for so many different things. If you know there's a lot of people without power out there and there's something you could do, you definitely want to be out there and do it as much as you can. So that's why I volunteer to come over here and to put people back in lights.
We're driving in marked vehicles and you'll hear people beeping at you. And of course our first, response as a New Yorker to say, hey, what are you beeping at? And they're beeping to say hello and to thank you.
By now, more than 1,000 U.S.-based line crews have flooded the island to work with the Army Corps of Engineers.
You really have to see it to get a full appreciation for the damage in this part of the world. Hurricane Maria waste to thousands of power poles, tens of thousands of wires like these.
We've already ordered nearly 64,000 poles, more than 7,200 miles of cable, and still 55% of the island is waiting for the lights to come back on. What isn't clear is how much longer Puerto Ricans had to wait, thanks to the fallout from the controversial but now canceled agreement with Whitefish Energy, the Montana company contracted by the local power authority here. Con Ed was never requested for mutual aid until just a few weeks ago, but they're here now, and they're staying until all the lights are on.
Whether they're my neighbors, my fellow island goers or not, doesn't really matter. You got people without power and you want to do the best you can. It could be anywhere in the world. If there's something we could do, I want to be there to do something.
And back live, people are lucky here in the neighborhood of Old San Juan. There are at least some lights on, some power restored, but only when the majority of the country is back in power and back with their lights on. Only then can they even start to address scenes like this. We're live in San Juan, Puerto Rico tonight. Josh Einiger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Wow, Josh.